Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Todoist series. And today I want to go through Todoist's new task view. Now, I did go through this a few weeks ago when it was in beta version. Now the full general release version is out and there's been some slight changes. And it is brilliant. I absolutely love it because it enables me to be intentional when I am adding information to my task. So without further ado, I would just like to say, if you do get any value from this video, then please help me by clicking on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, and you want to get all the latest tips, tricks and news on using Todoist, then please subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's go into my Todoist demo account now and let's go through this brand new, all new Todoist task view. Okay, so to save us some time, I've created a brand new task inside my inbox. Now, before we go into the new task view, what I do want to do is just to quickly show you that there are a couple of other options that you can use to edit your task. Now, the first one, which is universal to all of us, which is if you actually move your mouse over to the line on the task, you will see this pencil and it's edit the task. So you can either use the keyboard shortcut if you're using a Mac, which is Command E, or you can just tap this button. This will open up the basic task editor. So for example, I can now type in Friday, which will give me the date of today, and that can be added right there. So I'm going to remove that for now because I can show you this in another way. So what we're going to do is just save that. And as you can see, by the way, I can add my due dates. I can change the project just by tapping on that. I can move over here and add a label, I can add a flag, and I can add a reminder. However, the new task view that Todoist have launched over the last few days is when you tap on the task. So you tap on the task, and this is the new task view. Now, my personal opinion of this is fantastic, because one of the problems I had in the past with the task view was if I changed the project name, so if I moved this into this week, the task would just disappear into my this week folder project, and it would immediately disappear from my inbox, and then I have to go in and look for it. Here, I can be a little bit more intentional about the task. Now, of course, you can still edit the task name. You can go in there and I can edit right from there. That's no problem. I can add my description if I wanted to. And I can then add subtasks and comments, all from this main window. And comments are really, really useful if you need to add a little extra detail to the task itself. Equally, you can use the description. One of the best things about descriptions, you can put email addresses in there, and you can put telephone numbers if you need to send email or make a phone call. But going down this side here, one of the other things is it's actually helped us to clear up something that has been a little bit confusing with Todoist over the last few years, which is due dates and reminders. Now, I can add the due date directly from here. Just tap on that and I can say, okay, I'm going to do that today, which I am. So now I've already changed the project to this week. The due date is to today. The priority is number 1 because recording videos on a Friday is my number 1 priority. I can add a label and it will give you the labels that you may have in your system. I don't use labels in my main account. This, by the way, is my demo account. And now I can add a reminder if I wish, and I can just add a date like today at, now for me at the time of recording is 9:30 in the morning, but I can do today at 9:30 or whatever I want to do. And I can just add the reminder there. You do also have a few other options here, date and time and or location. So for example, I'm in my office, I could add the reminder there. I'm not going to add a reminder. I don't actually use reminders because I use my calendar for that sort of thing. But anyway, but this is the new view. Now, you also have a number of other options. If you tap the 3 buttons up at the top, the ellipses, you can now copy the link to a task. That essentially means that you can just get a copy of that task and you can paste that into your notes if you wish. You can duplicate the task. You can add a comment via email. You can view the task activity, and you can even delete the task. Incidentally, viewing the task activity will just tell you what's been completed if you've had some subtasks and various other things. It's all in there. It also tells you when you added the task. So I added that this morning just before I started recording. So this is the new task view. You have all the information you need. You can even get to the history of the task. One thing I should point out with the add subtask is, and I love this about this, record in the studio. That's not very creative, but anyway, record in the studio. What I can do with this is if I add that task and I actually clear that task off, let's say I've done that. The beauty of subtasks is they don't disappear. Now, I've done videos in the past on what I call the floating project, and now you can see everything within the floating project. I just think that's a really cool way of being able to manage a task basis. So there you go. That's the update. I know I did a video on this a few weeks ago. That was the beta version. This is now the general release version. You can get access to absolutely everything within the task view. And I absolutely love it because when I'm processing my inbox, I want to be intentional about the task. I don't want to be randomly adding dates to something I'm not necessarily going to do tomorrow or next week or next month. I want to be intentional. And this new task view forces me to actually think about when realistically am I going to be able to do this task. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode. And it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you very much for watching my videos. Now I have something exciting to tell you about. Recently I have developed a brand new time management system. It's a system designed to manage your time in the 21st century. The world has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's actually changed a lot this year. And what we need now is a system, a time management system that is very easy to use, easy to maintain, so that you can spend more of your time doing the work. And that's what the time sector system is all about. It's going to change your whole belief system about the way a time management system should work, because this focuses on when you are going to do the task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, or how urgent something is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. And that's what this system is built around, getting your work done, so you can spend more of your time doing the things that you want to do. I hope you join me in this course. The full details of the course are in the show notes below, so please join me, and thank you very much for watching this brief video.